I'm wondering if Lich is really going to be that fantastic in this game.
I don't think you can get kills and expect to escape, though, versus the Kunkka.
Yeah, they definitely have to be strong enough to stand and fight.
So who's going to get the Blink Dagger first?
SK. All 11.
Yeah,
that's a bit of a no-brainer.
Okay, which team will win?
You really want to go with EHOME. Like, EHOME look really, really good.
Top of the group.
And their draft looks like it will back them up, but MVP could pull something out amazing. Total number of deaths by 25 minutes.
I'm going 16 to 25. It's an Alk versus Anti-Mage. But it's MVP.
I think you're still fine with 16 versus.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I would almost lean down towards 0 to 15.
Total number of tower kills. 6 or 10 is like almost always my prediction for that. Can't go wrong.
Alright. Let's go to the game. As what have we got as far as early warding goes? MVP. Wards inside the EHOME jungle, so
30 seconds
they're going to keep tabs on, and they actually block up the pull point as well with this ward. Febby is that they have a sentry on Death Prophet, so potentially they could throw it down and kill him. If Febby walks up this hill and there's no way they will know.
Oh, they know.
Oh,
No.
They just body blocked.
Yeah, he's body blocked. Where's their sentry? Oh, he hasn't placed one yet. Maybe they're placing one at the rune.
Maybe they also didn't fully realize.
Oh, they have to know.
Well, it was only a very light touch. Febby, is he going to steal it? The Torrent's coming in. Febby will be sent up. And it is the Alchemist and the Death Prophet to take the rune. So they just use the Torrent as cover fire. So they both get the runes, and it looks like they didn't know. It was a very slight body block. So if they were looking elsewhere, they wouldn't have realized.
Maybe they just didn't think they had a good way to kill him. Spirit Siphon, is that enough?
There's your sentry. Hi, Febby. Spirit Siphon is now up, but Febby will get out of range of that sentry. He didn't actually bring any sentries with him, surprisingly.
But that one maneuver is going to make the wave in favor of Old Chicken.
And that's something which Kyoto is trying to repair at the moment.
And Old 11 has his spawns blocked, but little does he know, or little does MVP know, that they were going to run an aggressive lane.
There they are. There's your mana leak. Lanham's going to start. Torrent as well. MP can't run out of it in range. He does have that reactive armor and his down shield. Try and protect him. And Dubu, he went sacrifice level 1. There was nothing he could do to help out EHOME. And EHOME take first blood on the bottom lane.
EHOME is really good with their laning configurations, though. Like, now, all that gold that MVP invested on the top lane, they have 2 observers and 2 sentry wards. That is like 300 gold down the drain. And more importantly, vision that isn't going to protect MP in the safe lane as a Timbersaw. He's back to lane, but he's already at half HP. He's still level 1.
And then you still end up losing top lane to EHOME because Old 11, Caustic Finale is just such a beautiful thing that Forev can't even stay close. What's he going to do? Spike Carapace back the damage? That's not a viable option. So Old 11 just has a really good farm time here, and you're seeing what Forev's doing. Like, he has to walk over to the side shop and stay there. Wait for the creep wave to push underneath his tower and then go nuts.
He has to be a little bit careful because he's not topped up in his HP, but the point of a Lich lane is to win your lanes. And if you lose this bottom lane, like if EHOME get 1 or 2 more kills, then I could see this going very heavily in EHOME's favor, at least in the first 15 minutes until Alchemist starts participating.
That's the second time I've seen Lanham do that. The Torrent cover fire to pick up the rune. Don't waste your time on detection up against a Ricky Mara. They want to keep the ward for the mid lane anyway. And guarantee a rune. This keeps Ricky at under level 2. So no smoke screen available yet. No blink strike. Nothing on those lines. And on bottom lane, MP can't even harass Ice back. Like 1 point up in mana burn's enough to drop Timbersaw down to 0 mana. Looks like they're having a little bit of fun. Oh, Febby's still got to know that sentry's there. Okay, so we'll get rid of it. It was actually the Alchemist who got the extra gold from the last hit on that sentry.
Teams have been really good about dealing with Riki and Bounty Hunter nowadays.
FB's dead again. Lanham, wow, he really waited on that Torrent. He could have gone for that instantly considering MP had no mana. So it was a guaranteed stun from Fenrir's mana leak.
Oh, and the ice armor early on the Lich. With level 2 reactive armor on Timbersaw, I don't actually think they can harass him out. He says sitting at a whopping 15 armor with 21 HP regen a second. And he is not phased.
Yeah? That's actually pretty good up against an aggro lane. The only issue is he's got no kill potential in it.
He's Quelling Blade. All he needs to do is farm and try and keep Ice out. What's the point of even having Whirling Death? He has no mana. I wonder if he'll go 1-1-3.
Still waiting for Febby to have some kind of crack here on 11, but it's an Alchemist to help him, so he can't really do much.
And Riki not the best hero to stack.
Is MP really just trying to zone out Ice with just a brawler style?
Look, he's like not really taking that much damage.
Denied.
Well, it's working. Fresh Frost Armor every time from Newbee. He's always going to have the mana for it, and he's always going to keep denying, and denying creeps up against an aggro tri-lane. This lane's not going to keep working out. Like, there's not enough experience kicking into it for EHOME.
They need to keep their stacks up. But if they leave them alone, then this is going to happen. MP's going to zone them out.
They're going to try and kill old chicken. There's no concoction. You see a move like that, it's like a semi-body block because he took the rune from him.
But Fenrir has decided it's time to ditch.
Alright, he's going up for his farm. Luckily that sentry's already gone. So he's got his camp that he can pull. This will change the equilibrium with this top lane, but it's like this top lane, old 11, 26 for 7 up against a Nyx who was 13-1. This is not for Rev's lane at all. I mean, he's trying to spike Carapace back the damage from Caustic, and it's just no effect.
He missed it. And like, Ice is going to switch.
Yeah, he's headed north.
Yeah, realizing it's way better to sack the Sand King. Sand King can catch up through kills. The Anti-Mage just really needs that CS and Battle Fury up as soon as possible. Or Vanguard.
I suppose it's also an easier way to harass this Timber. Like if you got that much armor, what do? Bring magical damage to the lane.
Good lane call by EHOME. And I wonder if MVP are going to do the same thing. I doubt it. Let's see if they get the stack. Old 11 pulling it in on the bottom lane. Oh, they're actually going in. Epicenter on MP.
That should be enough, right? MP, he's so low. They're trying to hit him down. He actually has enough mana life regen. 14 reactive armor up. The stick charges to help him out as well.
Yeah, that third point really paying off, but now he can't really tank creeps to get his reactive armor stacks up. Maybe he'll go into the jungle to try and heal up a little bit.
Oh, that'll work. And what a great camper to find hill trolls. These things do almost no damage, so he's up to 14 stacks. Old 11's going to find it, but there's no mana on that Sand King to help him out. Newbee as well, you seem to be a long way out by yourself here. My Keeper of the Light's going to hit him with the Illuminate. Okay, that's a level 1, so there's no damage in that whatsoever.
And QO gets himself another bounty rune.
Who's really ahead here, I guess? Is EHOME ahead in gold? The experience is pretty tight. But that gold advantage doesn't really last long if Hero's got extra things to farm. There's no stacks inside the Radiant jungle. Just the one on the bottom lane, which old 11 could probably even farm right now.
A lot of it is Febby always trying to make things happen in the early game and just not really getting his farm. Ice. Messing around with Forev a little bit. Forev already has his arcane boots, so Ice won't be completely free farming up here.
Still haven't felt that effect of Febby just yet. Like, he's been roaming around, but there's nothing for him to really look at either. Like, all the heroes from EHOME are staying pretty tight together.
Old Chicken pops his ultimate, goes on an MP, no Timber chain on Timber's. You can try and TP out, but
stick charges something to the trees.
That's a foregone conclusion.
Well, it was optimistic. It was worth a try. That actually gave a little bit of space to old Lanham in the mid, because it's also giving space to QO to farm up, but your top CS belong to EHOME now.
And using the tail end of the DD and the Exorcism, will try and get this bottom tower. Febby trying to leech experience, but it will do little in the way to stop him until Timbersaw comes.
He could technically smoke screen. Old Chicken's ulti just wore off, so MP's going to come back into the lane. There's just smoke screen in the back lines, but Old Chicken as well as 11, they move forward underneath the tower. So MVP thought the fight was going to happen a little bit further up the lane, but EHOME had a very, very different idea about it all.
You don't have reactive armor stacks, and you're up against all this magic damage. I was pretty surprised that he went up there, but maybe not expecting a turnaround for EHOME.
Probably thought the smoke screen might give him enough cover, do enough damage, you'd force him back.
It wasn't that well placed. Sand King was able to get the stun off nearly immediately.
That's why I thought, like, I think Febby believed EHOME was falling back.
Forev on the top lane gets stunned up due to mana leak.
I need more damage. Well, with the Frost Blast, I've actually dropped Ice down very low for Rev. Still fairly low himself. TP's going to come in from Febby. That was a very obvious TP as the trees broke in the vision of EHOME. Okay. And the sentry ward is down. He'll get rid of EHOME sentry.
Well, so MVP are losing the early game XP despite having a Lich, and they're losing the net worth game with an Alk on their team.
Yeah, an Alk and a Lich on the team. That should go their way. Now sentry's down, Febby completely out of mana. And hit by the Illuminate. Won't care much more. Is Old Chicken really trying to... He's trying to steal the stack of Alchemist. Well, that's not so easy.
Happy it.
Really? Oh, Spy Carapace up from Forev. Looks and actually gets a stun onto Old Chicken. Concoction to help finish the job. Forev was actually demanding the last hit. Now Old 11 into the epicenter. Once QO. Chemical Rage, 2 seconds off cooldown, but he's got the armlet, toggling it up, and now the Chemical Rage goes to work. So Old 11, a nice time for a rotation, but not enough to find the kill of the Alchemist.
Yeah, second epicenter that we've seen used, but not enough follow-up damage. We haven't really seen too much from the Kunkka this game. Lano just trying to catch up on levels, and he is going for no X build, actually.
Really? That's kind of like the bread and butter of almost every single Kunkka. In fact, most people haven't even been leveling Tidebringer at all.
Curious choice.
I'm wondering if he's trying to cause issues for the Riki when he comes in close. Because that's probably the easiest way to inflict damage onto a Riki or a Lich.
Maybe he also thinks that they don't have that much damage output if anti-mage is going to be farming most of the time.
More bounty runes in for QR, but Old Chicken pushing to the tier 1 tower.
Epi it.
11 comes over. He's not gonna have it. It's a double black dragon only. And QR tries to retreat back up to the high ground. That sentry ward is down. Doesn't really block anything, however. It just looks for the Rikimaru. They will have a quick look and find Old Chicken. He's already backing up, so say goodbye to your sentry. Thank you. I still got crap tons of money. I know this is an alchemist, so he's always going to have that much money, but with the armlet, he's a lot harder for EHOME to kill early on.
They need a combo better with Old 11. They're not really getting mileage out of this Sand King. He had that early safe lane start, went to the bottom. They did kill the Timbersaw twice and get the tower kill, but after that, you'd expect him to, you know, get a Blink Dagger pretty soon, maybe get his Aether Lens, pressure the Alchemist, steal some stacks, but they've been very hesitant to make moves until now. They're smokes.
Bum, bum, bum. Where are they smoking? Like, the only one is they're going to kill his MP.
He's important still. He's their position 1. Kind of.
The Alchemist is their position 1 in this game. He's going to Timber Chain and TP out. 11, able to get the stun off. He's going to go instantly into the Epi with a torrent. Epi didn't know where to go. The path was taken there, and they throw the ship at him. But at the same time, you're going to lose Fenrir in the mid. Febby, ready to go. Concoction's going to connect. Okay.
He got mana leaked on the Alk, so he couldn't chase.
Problem. So they're also going to have some fun up on top lane. Ice. The anti-mage, probably not the happiest in the world. Still trying to build into this battle fury of his.
It might be too slow though compared to this Alchemist. Alchemist is going to have his Radiance in 2 minutes maybe?
Well, because Alchemist hasn't really been contested all with the Ancient stack. Like, you bring in EHOME, and they got an Observer Ward back behind the tower, but nothing's blocked up his camp, so Kuro's been fine. In fact, he's been farming both of them through that small little path. He's taking out both the small camp as well as the Ancients at the same time. And now he even drags the creep wave over to find the last hits there, even if he misses a couple.
Well, Old Chicken knows exactly what he's up to, but he doesn't really have the backup, and he suspects that they have a sentry ward up there. Exorcism up in 7 seconds. This may be the time that they're looking for to head up there.
He knows that sentry's there because of the D ward from before. But he's got no other choice.
Well, I'm really worried about Lich, considering his net worth is about 100 more than what you start with.
High five prediction. Escape Blink Dagger's done. First one on the field. Just under 13 minutes to reach it.
I'm a little bit scared for MVP. Unless QO can make miracles happen.
Man, they're just being so defensive about it all. Like, just ice armor up, both the tower as well as the heroes. So one way to try and make it so EHOME's push isn't as quick, but with a double damage rune and still Exorcism available, 11, a Burrow Strike in, finds Febby, they trigger the dust, does connect on the Riki, but he's already Blink Striked himself away to Dubu into relative safety. I say relative, Lanham, the Observer Ward sees all, Dubu's gonna get crushed.
Oh, he almost caught Febby too.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Febby still needs some time to heal up with the Tranquil Boots. QO trying to do his farming rotation, but Fenrir will block that camp up yet again.
Finally, that's happened. It's actually the first one which is properly blocked. They've only had Vision Wards beforehand. Now Alchemist dragged back in. He does actually have his typical rage up and running to silence. Nice from Old Chicken, making it hard to counter, but in comes MP, chains himself through, drags the Chakram as well. You've already lost 2 heroes from EHOME, but Old 11 capable of TPing out in time.
They did not have enough sentries there. Riki had cast.
Wait, they see Lanham. Can they reach him with the... If you stick charge into Chakrams, oh, he's got phase boots. The movement speed's too high.
The Riki had stopped the epicenter. He smoke cloud on top of him, and then because he has shift queued, he immediately blinked onto the Alchemist, but just not enough damage at this point in time, and just not being able to connect with the Sand King, who has had a blink dagger for quite some time. They were just super light on the sentries, and there's that observer ward that's still up, and there's that Riki that's allowed to roam 3.
They go for MP. It's a lot of damage. The ship will finish the job. As you can say goodbye to a Timbersaw, but the Alchemist has his Radiance. Like, in the time it took for the Radiance to fly from home to where he is in the jungle, he's already got another 800 gold. It's a happy day if you're an Alchemist. Maybe not so happy with EHOME rotating into the Radiant jungle. Again, great warning from EHOME. They're looking at everything MVP is up to.
They need to more burst to kill him, though. Well, maybe they can do it right now. QO trying to be greedy, farming up 2 Kings in the middle.
He just triggered his Chemical Rage, however, this will be very difficult. Lanham gets the torrent off. Febby comes in as well. Smoke screen into the tricks of the trade. Old Chicken not having a great time, but the Concoction is going to fly out, plus the Chain Frost to find the kill. Fenrir will create some space with the Blinding Light. But the Dire's Courier also flying at the same time. Blink away for Rev. Oh, he's got a nice line for a stun. A double stun from him with the S spray down. Fenrir will drop. Lanham will join him as well in the grave. As MVP chasing down the extras of EHOME for a nice kill.
They're forcing so many heroes onto the Alchemist, and if you take the fight to the Alchemist, all of MVP are going to be there. So it's going to be 5-on-4 in MVP's favor, and going for Epicenter up top lane. MP going to take another spill.
Looked away at the wrong time for that one. Tipper chain down, however. MP on the run. TI6 was not really ready to fight that one. He took a... Oh no! Sand King! The Chakram with the chain out, and then Newbee brings a level 4 Frost Blast to it. TI6 before they started that engagement, that's why I didn't think they'd really go for it. He took the Whirling Death and dropped down to about 20% of his life. If Rev hit that stun as well, TI6 will be joining him in the graveyard.
Well, they do get a kill on the bottom lane, even without the help of the Exorcism. But losing the Sand King yet again.
Rev's going in. He really wanted TI6. Forces to blink into the eastern tree line. Febby was waiting for him to actually blink into the lane so then they could chase kill him.
Oh wow, the Blink Dagger are already up on the next assassin. He's 3-0-2.
Febby's coming.
He's almost the same net worth as the AM. It's crazy. Well, 1 mana burn, he does not have enough stick charges quite yet.
And he's only got 2 of them. Newbee's just making a break for him. Into the tree line, up high, but then you cut a path.
Yeah, this tower is still alive and healthy.
No. They were really only looking for the kill, trying to force TI6 off it, but he plays around it instead. But EHOME, there's a Roshan for them. So Aegis the Immortal now into the hands of the hero who you normally don't want to have an Aegis the Immortal in the hands of, the Death Prophet.
Arcane Rune.
Then maybe you do want it in their hands.
I don't know what their plan is right now, though. I think they just have to accept the fact that Alchemist is going to get really big. I think they tried too many times and have failed too many times to stop him from farming, and now they will have to deal with the ramifications and gear up for the 40-minute plus game.
That's a very odd scan. They scanned in this region here, right in front of the town, when they have an observer ward just a little bit further away.
Maybe for Riki.
Possibly, yeah.
They had
been that. Could have also been looking for smoked up heroes, because MVP have done exactly that. They smoke up, their observer ward is watching the movement of EHOME, so they know exactly where they're moving. And Febby, there's your jump, the first one, 11, able to get the double burrow strike off, but Chicken takes so much damage. The Lich Shade Frost bounces down to old 11, so the Aegis Immortal triggered. We've already brought down the FK forever, a little bit too far away, but MP, that one tree was left standing, allowing him to chain forward, and now they can go after the Death Prophet. Spirit Side will make this difficult. Is he going to trigger Exorcism? Yes, he will, but in comes QO, beating down on top of the Kunkka. They've already managed to rip in a 2-for-2 trade-off, but Old Chicken, how much damage has he got? That's a level 2 Exorcism to QO, not a healthy man. Blinding Light forcing it back, and QO will go down. Old Chicken try and play the Fog of War, missing the silence, but MP, he got himself caught on the hillside. He'll go down. A terrible, disastrous fight for MVP. Then Old Chicken gets to roll in the dough.
Let those Spirit Siphons roll.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Death Prophet, one of the best heroes at fighting without your carry. And they missed a fair amount of spells. Timbersaw, I think, missed his chain when he was trying to go for the finishing blow. The Alchemist armlet toggle, very difficult
as well. The epicenter, the Spike Harpus went off. So at least he got to reflect a little bit of it, go into Vendetta. Sentry wards down for the Dire side. 1 second to Burrow Strike, but it won't be required. Ice. A level 2 Mana Void already available. Finds that kill.
Oh, it's close.
And now is rapidly approaching his Vlads. Like 19 minutes in, you kind of have a great start for the Animage, but now Battle Fury done. Fast farming for him. And the Nyx as well as Ricky will be very ineffective if they just try and gank him.
Well, after killing the Alchemist twice like that, I think they're... Oh, you're in a decent spot as an anti-mage. Well, my team just killed 4 of them. They took Roche without. They just got me a kill on the next set, and that more than makes up. And now I think is when the Lich starts to be much less effective. Each Night Creep not really that important because now anti-mage can just head into the jungle.
You still need to keep this Alchemist under wraps, though. Sitting at almost 15k net worth. Okay, now over 15k net worth thanks to one bounty rune. It's just the easiest farm. And this little path thing stacked, it's a small little path. It's so much for QO. Like, they need to have some kind of obs board, but that's why the 2 sentries are down for MVP.
Yeah, they really need to stop them from farming this big old cash cow. MVP.
But how do you even stop it? Like, they don't really have a great invasive lineup unless they got their abilities up.
Maybe a deep ward to the south side?
That could work. At least see when he's doing it. But at this point, with QO, it's practically all the time. He comes into the mid lane, goes up to the camp, goes to the mid lane, goes up to the camp.
Oh, they dropped the Sentry Ward. They will see the Observer Ward and ping it out, and they know that they're coming because they had to have smoke to drop it into this area.
Someone needs to get rid of it. Wow, okay, that's defensive. He uses X marks the spot to get rid of an Observer Ward, which is in his own lane between his own towers.
They know exactly where they were, though. That's a smart play. I like that.
By Carapace actually stunning up, will be enough. A QO front lines triggers the Mana Style. Chain Frost, very ineffective, only getting onto it. In comes your epicenter from 11. It's going to be enough to catch out 2. Tricks the trade will slow down the fight for the Ricky Maru, but already Old Chicken catching out 2. They need some kind of stun or disable for MP. Not available, but Old 11, he doesn't require one. Finding Febby, and will he have enough underneath with the dust on him? 11, where's the damage? And there it is. Smoke Screen will wear off. 3 heroes lost for MVP. And EHOME, even with an Alchemist having almost as much net worth as their 2 biggest cores combined, they are still taking these fights.
The Death Prophet is owning these fights. They cannot burst her down at all, especially with the BKB rush onto her. Like, they just really don't have that much to deal with BKB. Maybe Alchemist, but he went to magic damage build as well with the Radiance.
They did exactly the ward you were talking about. Just a little bit further to the south of the Ancients. Obs and Sentry down. It doesn't block, but at least lets them know what's going on.
It can set up a good epi for them into a ship. These are spells that need some time, and you want to cast them from the fog and catch the enemy by surprise. So maybe you'll catch them without his Chemical Rage up. Maybe you'll catch them with his armlet off. Maybe you'll catch him next season before he spike carapace. Is very important for EHOME to catch them just a second before they're prepared. And yikes, this is looking very grim for MVP at the moment. And Ice hasn't even really started joining the fights yet. Still sitting at 1-0-1. Roshan going to respawn in a few minutes. MVP need to pay careful heed not to hand another one over to EHOME.
Now, Ice doesn't need to join for another good 10 minutes if he wants to. This is an Animage that can continue to farm, and his teammates won't care. They're actually worried MVP was moving up on them. EHOME with a very defensive scan. Benria might get a nice timing to snipe out a courier if places, right, is coming with a Bloodstone recipe, but the rest of EHOME are now on top of the Radiant Secret Shop, so there is no purchases that will be happening anytime soon. They put Knobs on the other side of the hillside, in comes QO. 11. She's using his Burrow Strike a little bit early on the neutrals. Or worried about what could be coming his way.
I'm just worried about these super poor MVP supports. You can't give an axe to Riki. If you give an axe to Lich, he's still not super effective. And all he's really offering at this point is Frost Armor because of the BKB.
The two biggest ones have got to be the Timbersaw as well as the Nyx Assassin. That at least will slow down with double Chakrams as well as the Burrow ability. EHOME will have a hard time ending the game, at least.
Man, that's what Ancient Games is for. I don't think he can pull Ags to these two heroes too, because he's still dying a lot in these teamfights. He's 1-3.
EHOME? An Observer will get a glimpse of MP? I think they've realized where they're headed. It's up to the top lane. Kuro is currently bringing down that tower, so yep, EHOME coming in from the eastern side of the jungle.
Oh, Kuro!
Oh, his Chemical Rage has still got halfway through it, but it may not be enough. The Torrent's going to connect with the Epicenter as well. They want all the damage, and they've got all the damage. Very late for the Chain Frost to do any kind of work, but the other two players of MVP can escape.
He just gives so much gold. Actually, he only gave 334 gold that time.
He's not worth
He gave like 600 last time he died.
Yeah, he's not worth that much.
What do you mean? His net worth is incredibly high relative to everyone else's in this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't really seem to be helping.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you're actually behind in gold with Alchemist. That's unusual.
Yep.
To say the least.
Behind by, like, the whole team is behind by 4,000, but it's the experience. 10k advantage going the way of EHOME at the moment.
They've lost their lanes a little bit too hard. MP has just died way too many times, and he has a Bloodstone and a Cloak, but it's 25 minutes in. They need a secondary damage source aside from the Alchemist.
It's just crazy to say you lose your lane when you have like a Lich in your lineup and you're running an Alchemist as well. You should have so much more. For Rev, going to go invis, know exactly where he's going to come back to. Alt 11 triggers the BKB. Bevy's on the front line. He gets Spirit Siphon off with the Sentry Wars down. Bevy out of range, but in comes the ship. Bevy needs to bail out of here, but he can't. He got trapped, crushed by the hull. As EHOME has already taken out the tier 2 tower, so they got what they wanted. They took the tier 2 tower, and again, every single one of these fights has happened without Ice Ice Ice.
And now look at where he's farming. He's farming all up in the Radiant jungle, and MVP just do not have a hold on anywhere on this map. They have the Nyx Assassin, they have the Riki, but they can't kill anyone without Alchemist. And now they're even forced to more defensive items. A Hood, a Defiance coming out from the Timbersaw. I'm worried for them.
It's a very well-founded worry.
On top of that, they have the boat. The boat is like just like, oh man. You have all these great burst abilities, Timbersaw, Nyx, Lich, but when you're talking about boat, like these heroes just don't die.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about during the drafting phase, right? Like EHOME's team fight is just so good. Like low life but high sustain. You bring in crap tons of physical damage, crap tons of magical damage, and even if this game turns into a split push kind of battle, you've then still got a Keeper of the Light who doesn't have an Ags, but he could always just trigger the ulti, pull in a recoil, and bring in Ice 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 for the fight. So MVP can't even win on split push, so with the Alchemist build with Manta, he finishes up something like an Octarine, like, it still won't be enough.
I applaud MVP for trying out different strategies, but it's not...
It's not what everyone thought they were going to do coming into TI.
But maybe that's exactly what they needed, right? But if they had won with it, they'd be like, wow, MVP can do a lot more than one thing.
Yeah.
But now it's like, maybe they should go back to doing the one thing that they were so good at.
Insane aggressive team fights before anyone realized that were going to come.
Yep, not 4 Protect 1.
Yep. Protect 1 is a little bit too 2000, maybe 12.
And none of them are... They were protecting him very well in the first 15 minutes of the game, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, the Alchemist, like, I don't think Hugo has ever really felt that phased in the first, like, 10, 15 minutes at all. And then things just went wrong. Like, he has to join the fight.
I think any sort of death on Alchemist, though, is just... Like, if you die in the early game, that slows down your timing by, like, 1 or 2 minutes, and then if you die in a later game, you have a ton of net worth, so you get up.
Gonna break the smoke.
Where's their gem?
They have one.
He turned around, though. Like, what are you scared about walking into, buddy?
It's that flinch, man. I see a snake on the ground, I have to jump.
Not the best use of the gem reveal, but still getting a kill out of it is better than nothing.
That's a lot of observe wards from EHOME. Now, like we said, like they need to do something about watching the stacks, watching the farm of QO. They had like the Bermuda Triangle style of wards around that. They're going to lose one of them in 8 seconds. Actually, they're going to lose all 3 of them now. So they may have to repair that or replant the wards.
We'll take that.
And now Roshan has respawned. It was almost a full 11-minute respawn for him. Both 11 kind of out in no man's land. MP and Dubu may be looking to get a kill on, but I don't think that's possible. 11's actually going to look for them.
Yeah, he's coming up. MP's getting out of here. He sandstorms up to start with. Dubu. They've already TP'd out. And it's Roshan for EHOME. So with the Exorcism
and the DD, I don't think they needed the Exorcism because of that, but sorry.
It kind of delays their push, but he had an Arcane Rune on the Death Prophet. So again, you just like, screw it. Cooldown's going to be really low. By the time the creep wave is ready to push into the base, you're going to have Exorcism back off cooldown.
MVP, probably one fight away from getting their base just blown wide open. I think EHOME, this is the time to fight. As you mentioned, the Arcane Rune, Death Prophet's ultimate going to cool down in just 1 minute's time. Anti-mate with the BKB. Yeah, this is the time. I think they can end the game right now before Alchemist starts making their other teammates useful with the Ags upgrades.
Even if he doesn't, even if EHOME doesn't end it right now, they're still going to take at least 2 lanes of Rax when they push in.
They need to.
They've got the power for it. Still, I would kind of prefer, though, like, old 11 to have that Yule Scepter out of his stash and on him instead of a Quelling Blade.
Gotta get those D-wards.
That would be a dream right now. Top lane, Ice. A little bit further up, Febi's actually watching him pretty closely. It's only Dubu and Febi, however. They cannot... Like, the only thing they could potentially do is stop the recall.
Yep. But they can just cast it again in 10 seconds, especially if he chakras it. Well, we don't see the Spirit form just yet. Fenrir maybe looking to cast it come this next wave. There's Alchemist Illusion trying desperately to slow down their push just a little bit. But Ice is in deep.
It's the Ags. QO needs another 400 gold and he's got his Aghanim. He just will be buying an Aghanim. There is the pullback on Ice. So they're pushing in, but the Ags hasn't been purchased yet.
Yeah, they do not have that much time left in them. They're not going to have that Ag Scepter before this fight.
He needs 200 gold. Now there's actually going to be no buyback for him. He's short by 500 to get the buyback. Ice is getting stunned up, but he doesn't really care that much, even sitting inside the chakram. Primarily because he's got the Aegis the Immortal. And they go again. Exorcism from Old Chicken. Now halfway through his duration. That tower's pretty low as Ice jumps in once again. They're using X-Mark spot to give him a couple of hits on the tower. The Aghanim Scepter is now purchased. Who's that on? Is it on the Nyx?
I don't know. Nyx already had the point booster.
He hasn't given it yet. It's coming on the courier.
Maybe Timber, I would say.
Timber looks like the best option, but Forev is standing right next to him, and yeah. They're going to give it to Forev.
I'm just saying that because he had the
point booster.
The point booster was like, now what is he going to do with that point booster? But they were about to lose the game, so.
Let's look at our other options. What do we got?
Timbersaw, I think it's really good.
You can buy Skadi or Bloodstone now.
Oh yeah. You can. Soul Booster, casual. Actually, Soul Booster's not that great anymore. Casual.
He can sell it and buy himself something nice.
Now he just needs the utility items, I believe.
But that's still like okay, so what really went down there? EHOME pushed in, they had, say, a little bit of a low, and the tier 3 tower took a little bit of damage.
They don't have sustain. They don't have the Ags up on Keeper, nor do they have an Urn. So they can't actually heal up from the spam from the Timbersaw and the Nyx Assassin that we saw, and the spam's only going to get worse with the Ags Scepter.
All 11s. And there's no Observer Ward though for MVP, so they don't see EHOME moving around inside their own jungle. In fact, now bottom lane, MP well out of position. He's got 17 one charges. If he only has the time, he'll just deny himself. He were in battle with the one charge. He's got 18 seconds till he'll respawn. But in they come, no Exorcism, 30 seconds on cooldown. Tricks of the trade, keeping the Rikimaru out of trouble forever. Okay, nice Fire Strike from Old 11, but there's no follow-up. Doesn't commit the epicenter. They're just saying hello, but not really doing much damage. Tier 3 tower will drop. Ice still has the Aegis of the Immortal.
They have to kill the Nyx. They realize that Nyx is actually a problem in these fights, and they pinged out on him, but Sand King has to be close by because he's the one holding the gem. Death Prophet just had a BKB out of stun mana burn combo from the Nyx assassin to prevent herself from dying. And what do you know? Another arcane rune.
Life is a happy time if you're an old chicken.
Man, that's 2 in 4 minutes.
Not too shabby. Old 11 seeing QO. ISIS actually farming right next to him. He could potentially prep an epicenter and jump down. With the gem, they also saw Febby, so Fire Strike, that's an easier kill. Instead of going for the Alchemist, they wait for someone who's a lot easier to knock off.
Well, they're actually going for the Alch, though, as you mentioned, and he is going to TP out. Will they get the stun in time?
Oh, you see him! No vision, no vision.
That would have been very close to game ending right there. Qwo right in the perfect spot in that tree. It's a pretty unusual place to TP out of.
I'm a little surprised he didn't just trigger a mana style and try and play like a distraction game as well with the illusions.
You don't want to give away your position though, because Sand King would just stun through. He can judge by the distance of the 2 illusions about where your hero is, and then have to pull some incredible micro to disguise your position. So if it were not versus Sand King, I would say fine. But because it is versus Sand King, I think you don't risk it. It was a confidence play.
That range with Forev. There's high ground defense. If Alchemist can actually farm up the second Ags now, which he's got a fair chunk of the money for, and give that to the Timbersaw, I'm wondering how EHOME, in fact, take the base of MVP. Like, MVP will still have growth issues because the Aghanims upgrades is like down to just Lich. Like, stats for the Ricky Maru is kind of like the only other thing that Ags upgrade will give.
You can BKB Siege. It's not ideal, but it might be what they need to do soon, because I think the structural damage has to come.
The BKB just came up for QO, so he doesn't buy the Aghanims, he buys his own sustain during the fights.
Yeah, they don't have that much physical damage. I guess front summon death bomb it.
They're coming out. EHOME just smoked themselves, and they're rotating to the north side. Radiant scan to the east, so they're looking for someone inside their own jungle, and they're going to find Ice on the bottom lane. The Observer Ward's being down. They should probably think something is awry. There's your jump. He misses the stun. Looking for another one. Ice to the corner. QO gonna self-stun. BKB now being triggered from Ice. So an unsuccessful gank there from EHOME. They do burn a BKB charge.
Man,
that was the 10-second one for Ice, but...
He blinked at exactly the right time and blinked the right way. And went the right way after he blinked. Like, there were so many small things that Ice had to do there to survive.
Double damage.
Oh, they're still so far ahead. 26,000 experience going to EHOME in 35 minutes. Just over 14 grand their way to.
They can still blow up the Death Prophet. She's not that tanky. Looks like she's actually going for Lincoln Sphere.
Okay, Lincoln's?
Yeah.
I was wondering if you actually get something like a Refresher Orb. If you don't have the sustain, you get the double Exorcism out.
Might make her a little bit too squishy. I think like a Nyx combo can hurt her really badly. Oh, I think you go for Octarine now if you're Nyx, right?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I think you go for Octarine because then you just have a lot of stuns and their BKB is going to be pretty low at some point. But MVP, they have to play the stall game.
I still just love the fact that we're StarCraft. Lurkers are everywhere. He should have a different animation though when he goes into the ground, instead of just being this little mound.
I would like to see his like claws peek up a little bit.
One like little periscope thing.
Yeah.
Like we now have Nyx Assassin. You'd think he's actually like subterranean, but really he's a sub-arena.
It's like insects use their like little feelers to sense what's going on around them. How does he see if he's underground?
What you want to have like two little antlers?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Or you could have like vibrations in the ground, like he just like lets out these ripple effects while he's in the deck.
Maybe they could make it more realistic and have him not be able to see anything.
He could actually apply to Nyx.
Well, he's underground.
You have to rely on your friends to say, hey guys, you got a guy right in front of you. You should probably stun him.
It's the opposite of flying vision, Toby.
Or you
subterranean vision.
Okay, take this. Nyx is actually Ant-Man. He controls up ants and they can go in specific areas to give you vision.
Sounds a little bit like old Weaver with the Watchers.
A little bit.
Okay, well, they're heading around to the Roche, but Roche is actually respawned already. MVP will get a glimpse of this very soon.
The waves are out far enough, too, that EHOME won't instantly know.
The question is physical damage.
Yeah, that's the problem. Do they have enough to rip through it? Unless they were just thinking EHOME's going for it. I'm hearing a BKB. It's QO. QO triggered his BKB. He meant to Manta style, and he's triggered his own BKB.
No one knows though, and he has Octarine, so not the biggest loss in the world.
It's still one of those things. Like that was your 10-second BKB. So there's no way they will contest Roshan now, if they were even thinking about it before. With the Observer Ward down, now they see Old 11 getting rid of the Observer Ward.
You know what they say, Toby?
What do they say?
Use it or lose it.
I thought they always say, like, always look on the bright side of life.
Use it or lose it. That is the bright side.
No one expects a Spanish Inquisition. Our key weapons are surprise. Surprise and vision.
Okay, now Anti-Mage is 5 slotted, I suppose. The Blads can be purchased by someone else. Still needs Moon Shard up. Still has BOTs to grow. Alchemist can kind of replace his Armlet for Satanic or something similar.
He's doing the Ags first.
Yeah, but Ags is not a side grade.
He's also flying the Courier out to him right now, but he can't hold on to the Academ Scepter. He's also got no one to pass it on to anywhere else. Febby, oh, that was nice. He saw where the X-Mark spot was going to drag Old Lanham back, and then they hold him in position. Hold him, hold them. Now he burns the cheese. Flinch on to bounce back down again. The ship will fly, trying to get as much of the damage as possible. So they burn the cheese for this, but support is rotating over. It looks like 11 and MP are also playing up at the tree line, but they go for more fights. It's Ice on the front lines. BKB will now trigger, and MVP has to bail out. This fight is in 3 different parts of it, but it's about to merge into one big one. Forev back in biz. The BKB is going to wear off. They see him. They torrent up the ground-dwelling creature, and then the square screen's not buying enough space for Forev. So he'll drop, but MVP get home at least. So now they'll buy back on the Nyx Assassin. They throw down the Chakrams, and they try and keep EHOME away from their dreaded towers.
Cheese worth it. I didn't expect their team to get there so fast, but Anti-Mage was already blinking over. Sand King with Aether Lens also can get there very, very quickly. And they don't have Exorcism for 30 seconds, but they still do have the Aegis of the Immortal, and that's for a good 3.5 minutes. Nyx is the highest priority. You kill her, or him, or the bug, you likely win the game right now, because he is their main base defender right now, and they need vision up there, but they do not have eyes on the sneaky lurker.
Not yet. Give him time. Lanham has a bit of a guess, just follow the spike. Forev gonna get hit. Here comes that ship. They need a big kill spike. Carapace makes it very difficult for them. But Forev, he's trying to go back, and with the X-Mark spot, he will be back. But QO also isolated. Ice right on top of him. The torrent, he won't connect. Thanks to QO's BKB protecting him, but Ice as she starts a body block before attempting that mana break. He needs someone who's a little bit lower to get that spill damage out. And they may have enough. MP is down. Lanham jumps back in again. A great double torrent. 11 Burrow strike in 1 second time. A quick suicide by Timbersaw, but he's down for 36 seconds. No buying back available. And EHOME, remember what they came for, objective-based gaming. That ranks needs to fall.
Without Nyx, they should not really feel that threatened over here. They still have the Aegis on the Death Prophet too, and
maybe they should be grouped up, however. I say it's to try and take the mid lane while Old Chicken lost his Exorcism and timed out. They find an opening. FP sent him a QO just too quick. So Old 11 wastes his ultimate.
Where was the follow-up turret coming out from the Kunkka?
Not there.
That would have been a really important kill for them.
Nice Burrow strike though. They find Febby into tricks of the trade.
Okay, now first member of MVP has respawned.
QO again!
Wow. He got to change his hotkeys.
He really does. At that time, it wasn't a hockey mix-up though, because he already triggered his Mana Star. So he did his BKB, but no one from EHOME was nearby. They were all just willing to bail out. That's going to be like, what, a 6-second BKB now with all those triggers? Yep, just a 6-second BKB.
Clearly showing signs of some discomfort playing the Alchemist, or maybe just feeling the pressure of EHOME weighing down upon his shoulders.
Definitely feels like a hard game for MVP, and not just because of, like, being 20k net worth and almost 35,000 experience behind. There's just a lot of problems. MVP not feeling right, and he's just going for a straight Abyssal Blade.
Oh, now we're seeing
on this Alchemist.
We're seeing a Bloodthorn too coming out on Kunkka. I think the Bloodthorn's a really good solution for the Nyx set. I'm so surprised that
the Burrow strike.
Oh,
Old Chicken's waiting for it. like, Chemical Rage will wear off in a bit. The TP goes out, but then Yule Scepter up. Fenrir is in the neighborhood as well. Start the Mana Leak, and BKB off from QO. The advantage of triggering us so much is down to 5 seconds. And a very low cooldown. But Newbee gets caught out, so say goodbye to Lich, and they get an X marks the spot. Dragging back QO. The Virus Strike tries to go through him, but the man stop dodged it, but it's still not enough. You can say goodbye to your Alchemist. Buyback is available with Ice. He'll get the stun over on the Timber Store. He's already triggered off his Abyssal Blade, but MP out of mana, almost out of life. Lam's trying to finish the job. Old 11 on basic of life. He went down to 18-14 at one point, and it still wasn't enough to kill him. They just keep fighting, and EHOME, a team who didn't really have that much sustain, and just go from kill to kill, surviving these buybacks of MVP, and continue to go for objective-based gaming.
I really like the way Ice has been playing on the carry. He hasn't died yet this game, and he had a very tough early game, but dodging that one smoke gank and just playing pretty safely, not overcommitting for the racks, generally hitting buildings when presented the opportunity between that and chasing heroes. He's been just making very solid decisions on the carry. Sure. And his item choices too. It's standard, but no Vanguard early, for example, because he really needed to get his farm up. And just a lot of small things that he's been doing. Going for the Vlad so they can make sure that they secure Roche. Helps a lot versus the acid spray. Good Abyssal usage. He focused the Nyx Assassin down in the last fight, realizing that he is the biggest threat.
MVP are starting to have a couple farms which will help them with the next fight. Akura gets the Abyssal Blade so they can lock down the Anti-Mage. You get a Yule Scepter over on the Rikimaru. It's his only item, really, of significant value, and that could just be enough to stop Old 11 from getting his ulti off. You keep the epicenter out of the fight. You keep somebody out of the fight.
They don't have enough damage though. You stop the epicenter. EHOME still has like an armless Kunkka throwing out Tidebringers at you.
I'm not saying it's the dream scenario, but right now it looks like they're just trying to survive the fight. So you get Pipe and Blade Mail over on a Timber Saw. He just wants to live. Now QO being attacked. Ice triggers the Abyssal Blade. A lot more supports on the way. It's the Fire Strike from Old 11. Now it's QO's time. He gets the bash on Ice. He already used the Abyssal Blade, so they just try and brawl it out. The rest of MVP are on the way, and Ice is very well aware of this. So they all disappear into the fog of war.
Don't fight without your BKB.
Goes for both of them. They're both at 5 seconds now? Yeah. They're both at 5 seconds.
I'm surprised he didn't go for Butterfly. I think Butterfly's a better choice than MKB in this particular situation, but I don't know. Smokescreen is very annoying to deal with. Well,
could always change. At this rate, the game could go a little bit longer because EHOME is being so defensive. 42,000 now is the lead in experience, almost 30 grand.
They see QO. QO does not have BKB up. He doesn't pop it off before the impale.
That means a lot of mana loss. That's game. That's 100 seconds without an Alchemist, and he was your primary source of control and damage.
Well, Forev is sitting there behind the melee racks. Maybe he'll be able to do something, but as soon as they see those spikes out, I don't know if he's going to live. They take him out.
Yeah, they see him. And then sure, you get a perfect double Fire Strike from Old 11 too. You can force staff back in again, but this game is over. They're pushing him around, and Forev, he'll go down, bring in not even an epicenter. GG, well played. Game number 1 goes the way of EHOME in this 2-game series as MVP. They're feeling a little uncomfortable with a couple of their heroes, things not going as smoothly as they would like.
GG, well played, EHOME. Very consistent and not too many flaws in their gameplay overall, and sound game plans.
Yeah, even though it did feel a little like